Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first, and I have a blank, which is great. I've also got a V and a W, which reduce my bingo prospects, particularly with the addition of the P. I don't have a bingo. I certainly want to play off the V and the W, and I think PET blank is a fine leave. Well, I only have one vowel, so I can mentally imagine the blank as being one of the 5 vowels as the easiest way to identify a bingo. Can't see anything with an A or an E or an I. Nothing with the O, the U or the Y. Okay, well maybe there will be an 8 with a floater. I'm not expecting the O to remain available. Gosh, that's a good start by my opponent. He has provided an E in particular. So I've just noticed that through the O I could have had a grouplet. That is no longer available. There could well be a bingo here, but it's going to be difficult to spot. I really have got the N, T, E and R of fainter. Now the N's promising because I've got a G, but that would require the blank to be an I, and I don't have a bingo with that. But I just need to consider the blank as a vowel together with that N. Okay, this is quite tricky. Particularly with my opponent bingoing, it would be nice to respond in kind. Okay, I can't see a bingo, so I need to sort my rack out so that I can play one next go. Now, I could play peg at h13 across. That would stop my opponent from using the triple word square, but it also takes out most of the floaters. So can I do better than that? Gosh, this is a tricky start to the game. I saw the blank and I thought I was off to a good start, and it hasn't proved to be the case. Peg doesn't score a lot, it takes out floaters. The rack leave of LRT is not good. It would be much better to have just RT. The addition of the L hampers the leave. Okay. Good. Well, I have Oldster and Straddle and Drolust. I can play Drolust at J2 across. Vow takes an A in front. I don't think I have a 7-letter bingo with the blank as an A. The N of fainter also looks promising, and that holds out the prospect of getting a double-double. but I'm not seeing a bingo through that. So I'm hoping at the moment that Drollest remains available. In respect to the N of fainter, I certainly only need to consider vowels and a Y for my blank. Dry lots is good. Dry lots as a 7. Great. Well, dry lots does play. I can make ways. Yo inhibits a play through the N. Now I can't get a double-double in row K because IO only takes an N and an S after it, and way only takes an S. So I'd have to have a word with the blank as an N, and I don't have one. So let's try dry lots. Well, by try it I mean let me play it. £74 points. Great, I draw the X and I have 4 vowels. And the X goes well with vowels. It should give me lots of choices. Cox-ib is good. Oxo is good. Not sure that there's anywhere to play either of those. I could play cobia at D6 down, making a vowel with a rack leave of OX. The X is a really good scoring tile, but it's not an absolute priority to play it off. As long as I retain a vowel, I should be able to get a good score with it. The Q of the high scoring letters, the J and the Q, are ones that you should try and get rid of as soon as possible. The X and the Z are less bad because you can generally score well with them. The J is a sort of halfway house. Sometimes you can score well with it and sometimes you can't. That's probably a reflection of how many short words they can make. Now I have failed to find anywhere good for my X. Well, there's toxic at K8 down. Disadorn, that's good. So I could play Coxib at D2 down. 39 points. I'm wondering if I have a play at H1, which places the X at H4 on the double letter square. Can't see such a play. And Coxib would inhibit my opponent from utilising that opportunity. One downside of Coxib is that it leaves 2 vowels as my rack leave, which isn't great. I could play cobia at F2 down, retaining OX. And that's a much better rack leave. And toxic was the other move I was considering. Yeah, I think toxic is got a really good score. And ABO is a lot better than just 2 vowels. 45 points. I think I was looking in the 30s, low 30s for cobia and probably the high 30s for Coxib. So toxic is a higher score and a better leave than either of those. Good, no duplicates, balanced rack. The B and the P don't go great together. if H1 stays available, I've got DWEEB. I may not be able to play off the P and the B. If I can only play off one, I would rather play off the B and keep the P. Okay, well, I'm just noticing that the letters could make parboiled, but they would have to go through L-E together, which isn't a word, so that's not going to happen. J2 is a hotspot for both my P and my B. Wow, 92 points. That's a fabulous play by my opponent. He now has a 100-point lead. So, is DWEEB my best move? Let's see what this scores. 30 points, but a 3-vowel leave is pretty poor. I'd like to do better than that. Especially as I'm 100 points behind, so I am going to need to bingo to get back into this. I don't mind keeping 2 vowels and a consonant, but 3 vowels is a lot. So, what can I do? Is there any other spot on the board I should consider? Well, I wonder if I have a play from F2 down to J2. Something like, do I have rapid? Rabid, even better. Let's see what this scores. Rabid 30 points, the same number of points as DWEEB, but a much better rack leave. O and P have synergy. So, yeah, that's fine. This looks promising. Now the floaters are the floaters in Toxic, the X, the I and the C. I don't think I have a 7-letter bingo. And there are 7-letter bingo lanes available on this board. But I don't have a 7. I've got the I and the N to go with the G in column 15, but I don't have a bingo there. What about the C of Toxic? Can't see anything through that. The I, well, there isn't anything. And the X, I think if there's one through the X it would have jumped out at me. Now I do have an O for going in front of BI at H1. So I could play op at that spot. 32 points. Probably better to play oop if I can somewhere. In the sense of the rack leave of EINR being much better than that leave plus an O. And I still am basically 100 points behind. Well, 80 points behind. Okay, only 17 for my opponent. That's good. That gives me hope. Can't put anything before or after Keener. So, any floaters my opponent's provided? I don't have a word beginning with the K. That's a shame. I've just seen Pecorino, which does go through the C of Toxic, but not with the C in first place. And a don't think there's any anagrams of pecorino. Now I could play op at n5, 22 points. But that does keep an inferior leave to EINR. And low 20s isn't very much. Now I could play oop at G12 across. 17 points, but that obstructs the G of peg for an ing word. It's tricky to find a spot where I can play which doesn't take out bingo lanes, but there is one at I1 down, so I could play poo down here. Well, that's only 14 points, but the rack leave is pretty good, especially keeping IN with the G at H15. I'm not obstructing bingo lanes. Yeah, and I really do need to maximise my chances of bingoing. So scoring 14 as opposed to scoring the low 20s is a small price to pay. Right, what do I have? Manicure would be through the C, doesn't play. Can't see anything in column 15. Urinemia is good through an I. Unfortunately, that doesn't quite play through the eye of toxic. Really close. Now I have the A for the front hook for vow. So if I had a 7-letter play, it may be playable in that spot. And I have the N of fainter. I'm just not sure if there is a 7-letter bingo here. I would certainly have studied it. Well, the opportunity's gone now, but Manicure may have had coumarine as an anagram. Okay, now if I don't have a bingo, then I'm looking to play off the U for sure. Then the M is my scoring tile, but actually marine is a pretty good set of 6 tiles. Problem with playing off just the U is I'm not going to score very much. 30 tiles in the bag, just less than 8 minutes left. I do have the pairs of letters PE and ER for a 9-letter word. Can't see anything there. Okay, so where am I going to play my U and possibly my M? Now I could play them at L2, but for a desperately small score. Or I could play here, and the advantage of playing here is that I'm not obstructing bingo lanes and I am scoring 20 points. As long as I'm only 100 behind, one bingo should bring me back into contention. Right, I would have Veronica through an O. Can't see a 7. But the letters go together quite well. Gosh, this is a frustrating game. I did have dry lots as a bingo, but apart from that, I've had pretty slim pickings. I don't have an ING bingo. 32 points for my opponent. That's pretty good. He is now 112 points ahead. 25 tiles in the bag. Okay, I can't see a bingo. I certainly want to play off the V, but the remaining tiles are pretty good. But the V is a very difficult tile to play off in isolation. Okay, I'm struggling to see anywhere for my V. I could play Poov at I1 down. Only 14 points, that's pretty dismal. I'm wondering if I can score more by playing off more tiles. And I have under 5 minutes left, so I can't dwell too long on this move. Ah, do I have vice scenery? Wow. I hope I haven't imagined this. Gosh, this could be in the nick of time in terms of salvaging any prospects of winning. 74 points vice scenery. I'm not sure of this. I think it's good. Okay, if it stays on, my rack is poor. But at the moment, I'm just 38 points behind. Gosh, I am delighted to have spotted that. I played that as soon as I saw it, which isn't always a good thing to do. Great, it stays on. I'm now 60 points behind, 14 tiles left, but there are still bingo lanes open. My priority is to sort out my vowel consonant imbalance. That's going to be tough. And I'd like to do it while scoring a little bit. Hopefully more than 20 points. So what can I do with my Y? Well, not very much. I need to keep the board open in terms of bingo lanes, and there are quite a few bingo lanes on this board. Well, I could just play axe across here. It doesn't obstruct too much. Scores 18 points. Can I do any better than that? AEOTY is not a good rack leave. Okay, there is still a blank out there. I am going to play this quickly now because of the time. I certainly don't want to miss out on winning simply by running out of time. But my opponent is sufficiently far ahead that I do need a bingo to win. fortunately the board is open. Now, I really do want to get rid of my Y. I'm not likely to bingo with it. "12 tiles left. 29 points for my opponent. Nice score for him. So I want to play off the A and the Y as my priority. "10 tiles left. Gosh, I'm looking at D4 where I can play my A. Gosh, this is frustrating. I just can't see a way. Well, hang on, I can. YA, 17 points. This rack leave is getting better. I would have tetragon through an R. I've got the floaters in vice scenery. Nothing through the V or the C. Hopefully they'll stay available. 8 tiles left. Now I ought to be able to play off a small number of tiles and leave a decent rack leave, but I need to see what my opponent leaves in the bag. I don't think I have a bingo with this rack. I have the N for going in front of the G of peg. There are 2 I's and a blank available, so I probably ought to hold on to the N. I need to split up the duplicate T's and probably play off the G, because there aren't really opportunities on this board for an ing ending word. So a play of got or tog would probably leave the best rack leave. My opponent takes out the floating N of fainter and the G of peg, so I don't need to hold on to my N. I've got just over 1.5 minutes left. So, where are the bingo lanes I need to keep open? The C and the V of vice scenery. I think this game is lost. I'm just, well, difficult to say. 5 tiles left, 12 points. That's dismal, and I'm not opening up any bingo lanes. But I'm at the point now where I'm running out of time. I've got less than a minute left. Just 12 points for tog. Okay. I don't draw the blank. I probably ought to have played off more tiles to increase my chances of drawing the blank. I nearly have yet again at A4 across, which would have been fabulous. I would have needed my E to be a blank to have that. I have Thanage. I do actually have a 7-letter bingo, and Chantage may be good. Wow. And that plays at F5. Gosh. Chantage. Think it's good. And I'm 67 points behind. 3 in the bag. If one of them's a J, Chantage could win on countback. But if my opponent has the J, or if he blocks Chantage, then he should be home and dry. I'm not 100% sure that Chantage is good, but I think it is. Okay, I don't really have time to contemplate other moves. I've got just over 30 seconds left. This isn't going to score enough to win, and it may come off the board. Let's see. Yeah, if it stays on, I think I lose by about 10. I don't think there were any other bingo opportunities with that rack. I note that the blank has been unplayed, so it's possible that it was in the bag, and I could have drawn it by playing off more tiles. But having said that, and the reason for wanting to draw the blank was to bingo. And it's better to bingo without the blank than with it, because the blank in itself scores no points. Right, well, I don't know if Chantage was good or not. We'll find out in a moment. My opponent may have simply elected not to challenge it because he had won. So, well done to my opponent. That was a hard-fought game. My opponent wins 445 to 436, a winning margin of 9 points. Let's see what I missed. Great, well, no messages saying that phonies were played, so I guess Chantage was good. This was my opening rack where I played Vow. Yep, that was best. Now, I think there was a bingo here. And there wasn't. Great. Okay, and nothing obviously better than Peg. I didn't like the rack lead, but I can't see anything better. This is where I played dry lots for 74, and I could have played Trolands at D11. I see, a double-double through the N of Feinter, also making Yod. That would have been a good play, and scored 15 more points. Inbox for 60. Oh, wow, I didn't consider that. Through the N of Disadorn, that would have been a fabulous play. And Coxib for 52. Why didn't I spot that? Oh, my word, look at that. I considered Coxib beginning at D2, but not at F2. Well, that was an oversight. But actually, the gap between Coxib for 52 and Toxic for 45 isn't that huge, because the B certainly enhances the AO leave. But Inbox was best. Great play by my opponent there, Beask. And I missed Pinboard. Okay. Through the N of Feinter. Always annoying to miss a bingo. Not a particularly easy bingo to see. It's a compound word, a three-letter word and a 5-letter word. But it is a common everyday word. So that does go down as a miss. And here, well, just low-scoring opportunities. Krunai is a nice word. Probably not the best. Numeraire. Okay, well, I'm not disappointed in myself for missing that. It's a 9-letter word. It's I've never seen it before in my life. And it would have gone through the ER combination using the E of Peg and the R of Feinter. Fabulous word, but not one I'm likely to be studying anytime soon. Great, well I was delighted to have spotted vice scenery. Lovely. The problem with that was keeping the duplicate A, but it would have opened up a bingo lane. Yeah, I don't know if Lovey or Axe was better. Here, well, a whole bunch of plays. But Yoga at G12. Oh, I see, running right across the top of Peg. That would have been nice, and a good rack leave. It would, of course, have taken out my chantage spot. Okay, well, a whole bunch of fairly low-scoring moves. Oh, right, well, that's where I played Tog for 12. Well, yeah, I mean, bearing in mind that I only lost by 9 points, maybe Yenta would have been better. 24 points, it would have opened up a bingo lane. GOT. It's not a disastrous leave. There are bingos with those letters. And here chantage was the only play. Okay, so an interesting game. I was a long way behind right from the get-go. My opponent bingoed with his opening move. I did miss several good plays. I missed Inbox. I missed the better placement of Coxib. Numeraire was a missed bingo, as was Pinboard. On the plus side, chantage was nice and vice scenery was nice. So a mixed bag in terms of words spotted, and dry lots, my third bingo. All my bingos were nice. Okay, so I hope that was an interesting game to watch, and maybe you found some better moves than I did. So thank you for watching. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.